Giant cave systems offered shelter, they offered water, they offered protection from weather. So why didn't prehistoric humans move underground permanently? Because deep below the surface, almost every advantage that kept humans alive began to disappear. Number 12. Danger could no longer be seen coming. For most of human history, survival depended on seeing danger before danger saw you. Movement in the grass, birds suddenly taking flight, animals running in the wrong direction, dust rising on the horizon. Humans became extraordinarily good at reading warnings hidden inside landscapes. A giant cave removes all of that. You cannot see what is beyond the next chamber. You cannot see what is behind the next rock formation. You cannot see what is approaching from the darkness. The further humans moved underground, the shorter their warning time became. Eventually, the warning disappeared completely. That is a terrible trade for a species that survived by noticing danger early. Number 11. Getting lost was almost guaranteed. Modern cave explorers carry maps, LED lights, backup lights, communication equipment. People still get lost. Prehistoric humans had fire, memory, and hope. A single wrong turn could separate someone from the entrance forever. An extinguished torch could erase every landmark instantly. Many cave systems contain kilometers of passages that look almost identical. The deeper you go, the more every direction begins to feel correct, until suddenly none of them are. Above ground, humans could follow rivers, mountains, stars, the sun. Inside giant cave systems, all of those guides disappeared. Getting lost was not an inconvenience, it was often a death sentence. Number 10. Underground floods could arrive without warning. Rain does not need to fall where you are standing to kill you. That is one of the oldest lessons of cave systems. Water travels, sometimes for kilometers, sometimes through passages nobody can see. A storm above the mountains may already be over by the time the flood reaches you underground. You hear something, a distant roar, a vibration beneath your feet, then water appears where there was no water before. Fast, cold, relentless. Underground floods do not behave like rivers. Rivers have banks, floods inside caves have walls. The water has nowhere to spread, so it rises, rapidly. Entire passages can disappear in minutes. The deeper humans moved underground, the fewer escape routes remained. A cave that felt safe in the morning could become a trap before sunset. The worst part was not the water, it was the lack of warning. Because you cannot run from danger if you do not know it is coming. Number 9. Cave collapses turn shelter into a tomb. A cave ceiling feels permanent, stone feels permanent. That illusion has killed people for thousands of years. Rock moves slowly, quietly, constantly. Most of the time nobody notices, until one day the ceiling decides to move all at once. A small collapse may only block a passage. A larger collapse may erase the only route home. Unlike storms or predators, rock gives no second chance. You cannot negotiate with gravity, you cannot outrun a falling ceiling, and underground there are very few alternative exits. A landslide outside may block a path. A collapse inside a cave can block your entire world. The deeper humans traveled underground, the more they placed their survival in the hands of geology. That is not a gamble prehistoric humans like to make. Number 8. Fire could become a death trap. Fire created civilization long before civilization existed. Fire gave humans warmth, protection, light, cooked food, dry clothing, safe sleep. Inside giant cave systems, fire created a second problem. Smoke has to go somewhere. Sometimes it does not go very far. Carbon monoxide cannot be seen. Carbon dioxide cannot be seen. Low oxygen cannot be seen. A fire that keeps predators away can slowly begin killing the people sitting beside it. The deeper the chamber, the worse the problem becomes. More fire means more smoke. More smoke means less air. Less air means worse decisions, slower reactions, exhaustion, confusion. Above ground, the sky solves this problem for free. Underground, humans had to solve it themselves. For a species that depended on fire, that was a dangerous place to live. Number 7. Moisture slowly destroyed their most valuable resource. Humans did not merely use fire. Humans depended on fire. Without fire, there is no warmth, no cooked food, no protection from predators, no reliable light. Large cave systems fight fire constantly. Water drips from ceilings, mist hangs in the air, wood absorbs moisture, fuel becomes difficult to ignite. Even when the fire survives, keeping it alive becomes work, daily work, endless work. Humans brought fire into the cave. The cave spent the entire time trying to take it away. A dying fire above ground is a problem. A dying fire deep underground is a crisis. Because underground darkness is different. Above ground, moonlight exists, starlight exists, snow reflects light. Underground, there is only one light source, the one humans carry with them. If that light disappears, the cave takes everything back. Number 6. Giant caves already had owners. Humans were not the first creatures to discover caves. They were late arrivals. Long before humans carried fire underground, other animals had already moved in. Caves offered stable temperatures, protection from weather, protection from the cold, protection from the ice age itself. Humans wanted those things, so did predators. Some caves belonged to bears, not ordinary bears, bears that could weigh more than half a ton. Some belonged to hyenas, pack hunters that understood caves extremely well. Others belong to lions, predators perfectly comfortable moving through darkness. Humans entering giant cave systems were not discovering empty shelters, they were entering occupied territory. And unlike humans, many of those animals had evolved specifically for those environments. A cave entrance can be negotiated. A narrow tunnel can be negotiated. A territorial predator defending its den is something else entirely. The deeper humans moved underground, the higher the chance that they eventually encountered something that believed it already owned the place. Very often, it probably did. Number 5. Children could disappear in minutes. Children disappear quickly above ground. Underground, they disappear differently. A child follows a sound, turns a corner, walks through a narrow opening, and suddenly the group is gone. No horizon exists underground. No landmarks exist underground. No distant fires exist underground. A distance that feels trivial above ground becomes enormous in total darkness. 20 meters, 30 meters, sometimes less. That is all it takes for voices to become echoes. Echoes to become confusion. And confusion to become panic. A child lost in open country can still be seen. A child lost inside a cave may simply vanish. For prehistoric groups, that risk mattered enormously. Children were not only family, they were the future workforce, the future hunters, the future mothers, the future of the group itself. A shelter that could swallow children without warning was not a good shelter, no matter how impressive it looked. Number 4. Deep caves cut humans off from the outside world. Human beings survived by reading the world around them. Clouds predicted weather, animal tracks predicted opportunity, bird behavior predicted danger. The wind carried information, the sky carried information, even silence carried information. Deep caves remove all of it. No sunrise, no sunset, no seasons, no migrations, no storms approaching in the distance, no animals crossing the horizon. For the first time in human history, people could become completely disconnected from the environment that kept them alive. A hunting group living underground might not know a storm had arrived, might not know a herd had moved, might not know winter had arrived until winter was already inside the cave with them. Humans evolved to process environmental information continuously. Deep underground, that information stream simply stopped, and a species that cannot read its environment rarely survives for very long. Number 3. Sound could no longer be trusted. Humans trust sound more than they realize. A snapped branch, running water, moving animals, footsteps. Direction matters, distance matters. Inside giant cave systems, both begin to fail. Sound bounces, reflects, splits apart, returns from impossible angles. A noise in front of you may come from behind, a noise nearby may actually be far away. Something dangerous may sound distant until suddenly it isn't. Predators understand location, humans understand location, echoes destroy location. For prehistoric humans, that created a terrifying problem. The ears were still working, the information was not. Above ground, sound usually reduced uncertainty. Underground, it often increased it. Number 2. Darkness always favored the predator. Humans are a visual species. We read faces, movement, shadows, distance. Most of the advantages that allowed prehistoric humans to survive began with seeing something first, seeing the predator, seeing the danger, seeing the escape route. Darkness removes all three. For humans, vision collapses quickly in complete darkness. For some predators, it does not. Large cats hunt at dawn and dusk. For a reason, hyenas thrive at night. For a reason, many predators evolved in a world where low light was normal. Humans did not. Humans change darkness with fire, but fire creates islands, small islands. Beyond the edge of the light, the cave still belongs to the dark. And the larger the cave becomes, the smaller those islands begin to feel. A predator only needs to cross a few meters of darkness. Humans may need to cross hundreds. That changes the balance immediately. Above ground, humans often controlled information. Underground darkness controlled information. And information is usually what decides who survives. The predator did not become stronger. Humans simply became weaker. Number 1. Humans evolved for horizons, not darkness. This is the real answer, the answer hiding behind all the others. Humans did not evolve underground. Humans evolved beneath enormous skies, open plains, river valleys, grasslands, coastlines. Places where survival depended on distance. Distance to food, distance to danger, distance to weather, distance to opportunity. Human eyes evolved for horizons. Human brains evolved for navigation across landscapes. Human societies evolved around movement through open environments. Giant cave systems attacked all of those advantages simultaneously. They removed visibility. They removed orientation. They removed environmental information. They removed escape routes. They removed the warning time humans depended on. Every species has an environment that feels natural. For fish, it is water. For eagles, it is the sky. For humans, it was the horizon. That is why prehistoric people used caves, but rarely surrendered themselves to them. Small caves became shelters, temporary camps, seasonal refuges. Giant cave systems were something else. They were worlds built for another kind of creature. And deep underground, for perhaps the first time in human history, humans were no longer operating inside the environment that evolution had prepared them for. The evidence left behind. Archaeologists find repeated evidence of human cave use, but they find something equally important: limits. Most prehistoric occupation sites cluster near cave entrances, near daylight, near airflow, near escape routes. Deep cave occupation becomes dramatically rarer. Meanwhile, the deepest sections of cave systems often belong to something else: bears, hyenas, lions, flood deposits, collapsed debris. The archaeological pattern repeats itself across continents. Humans approached giant cave systems, used parts of them, learned from them, and then stopped. Again and again, the evidence points toward the same conclusion. The problem was not a single danger. The problem was that giant cave systems removed too many human advantages at the same time. Giant caves were not simply dangerous, they were incompatible with the way humans survived. We evolved for horizons, not for darkness.